This is not the first time that we use the platform of the Munich Security Conference to show pictures, to present evidence, visual evidence of what has been going on in Ukraine now for 2 years. We've just tried to calculate. I think we are on something like day 721 or something like that into this war. And I want to thank the organizers, Björn Geldhof in particular, who has put this all together. But of course, even more importantly, my good friend Victor Pinchuk for having taken the initiative to organize and to fund this enterprise. A month ago, in a slightly different format, the impressive pictures which are going to be shown on this screen were being presented to the thousands of participants at Davos in January. And I think that had a real impact there also on so many people who have no idea of the extent of the devastation in terms of human suffering, but also in terms of destruction of property, etc., that's been created in Ukraine throughout the country, and not only in eastern Ukraine. I know that President Zelensky is still in Berlin conducting discussions with German decision makers, with Chancellor Scholz and others. We are going to welcome him when he arrives later tonight, and for these next 2 days. Let me say that as someone who has had the privilege of organizing this conference for the last 18 years or so, I'm now in the happy position of being something like the chairman of the board. So it's not my responsibility anymore to organize the day-to-day proceedings, but I'm the happiest person when I think of the fact that we can hopefully make an impact, have an impact this weekend, especially on the American congressional delegation. There are going to be a good number of Republican senators, but at this moment, even more importantly, a good number of members of the House of Representatives who need to be told by their European counterparts, and I will certainly use every opportunity I'm going to have, that the most important asset which America has as a global power is the system of alliances and partners. And if they drop partners and alliances, if they try to forget about the help which Ukraine continues to require, that's going to have a devastating impact on the global credibility and role of the United States. And I hope that this message will be arriving in the minds of those who represent the Republican side of the House of Representatives, so that America's continued massive support of Ukraine can continue to go forward. So let me conclude this by simply saying that I hope that this exhibit here will be seen by as many of the participants and journalists of the Munich Security Conference over this weekend as possible. I will certainly use every single opportunity I have to make little advertisements to all the people I'm going to be meeting to come here and take a look at this. It's my privilege now to offer the floor to Victor Pinchuk, who will be, has Niall Ferguson arrived? No, not yet. So Victor, you take the floor and announce the following speakers. Thank you so much.
Dear friend, thank you that you are here for the opening of our exhibition, Ukraine Deciding Your Tomorrow. Thank you very much, Madam Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine. Wolfgang, thank you very much for your introduction. With this exhibition, we want to get under your skin, under the skin of visitor, of participant of Munich Security Conference, because specificities of one of the main specificities of this moment that almost everybody understands that Ukrainians fight is not only for our independence, but for the Western values, for the freedom, for the security of all Western worlds. But this understanding is mainly intellectual, theoretical, and this is not enough. It's really, this feeling has to get under your skin, and only with the power of art, with the power of really big artists, you can get this. Because to understand this, you have to be in Ukraine. If not permanently, but regularly. You have to talk with Ukrainian people, you have to talk with Ukrainian heroes, soldiers. But we are here, and you are here in Munich, in the beautiful, perfectly secure city. And we tried to create for the participants of Munich Security Conference this environment, this feeling that you are here in Ukraine. Because, you know, you have to talk with the soldiers. I talk with them much, and they're really devastated, and they're really now, some of them really depressed, because they said, we're not sure that Western support is coming. They said, if we knew that great support will come, if not now, but in the not very distant future, we will fight until that point. But as of now, this is, unfortunately, this is not obvious. It would come or not. And this is very, very depressing and disappointing. That's why Ambassador Ischinger, I hope that all these members of congressional delegation will attend this exhibition. At least we will try, and we have preliminary agreement with some of members of the Congress that they will be here, and we believe that this exhibition will contribute to our victory. Thank you very much for your attention. I think now we have great honor to give floor to our Vice Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor. Many speeches and addresses are to take place over today. It's a great pleasure for me to hear. Yesterday, just I arrived, I was welcomed to Ukraine Munich Security Conference, and this is something which clearly takes off the agenda the very fact of Ukraine fatigue or whatever. In fact, I feel a strong power of being here, united with the European friends and partners who now understand the power of making decision, not talking about the decision. And that's a huge difference. So rest assured that Ukraine will utilize every opportunity to boost, to curb, and to unite Europe and to curb our support. The last very important point politically is that most of the questions I've been asked is what will happen if US will not pass the decision on military support or financial support. And I think I want to echo very seriously the words of Victor that Ukraine will prevail anyway, because Europe would have to prevail. There's no way Europe to fail. And here we are Europe. The war is in Europe, and it has been a very unexpected message yesterday. So there's no way Europe to fail. But there's also something that we would remember, and we want to remember good things done by our partners. So I'm sure that the decisions will be taken, and if there's any slight feeling that Ukraine is not worth of making the decision for our freedom and for our independence and for our ability to survive, my message here today over these days that Ukraine has never been letting down, and we're not letting down our people, we're not letting down our partners, and we are, by everything we do, by our fight, we're making the Europe only stronger. So supporting Ukraine is supporting the Europe. But I think that this kind of exhibition, it is important to realize that whatever we say, is whatever has been it's not a political process. It's what has been faced by every Ukrainian. When we're speaking about the freedom, when we're speaking about justice, when we're speaking about the war crimes, it's the words you hear from us, from Ukrainian political representatives. But this is the reality every Ukrainian faces. And this is the war of a nation, is the war the people have seen, have felt. That's why our resolve and commitment is never going to fade. Because whatever we do and whatever we're talking about, whatever we are fighting for, is to survive, to stay alive, to bring the justice to those who lost their lives, who have faced the occupation or have been subjected to a war crimes. So the time should not be counted by days. It should be counted by goals. It should be counted by the principles that nothing to be discussed today or days before should serve the purpose of justification the aggression. Nothing should give any slight sense to Russian Federation and its allies on the impunity which might follow. Ukraine has always been a European nation. We have been dedicated to democratic transformations for almost a decade after the Revolution of Dignity. But we are also fighting for our security, and we would have a huge set of discussions related to our security, the NATO Washington Summit. I'm really happy to have Anders Fogh Rasmussen invited. Thank you, Victor, and thank you for all of your support. And I'm really happy that Munich Security Conference has provided back Ukraine to the agenda, has been strong in making sure that we can do anything to use this momentum of breaking the US Congress to repower the both parties and make the decision happen. So I'll do my best to bring everybody I can here to this small Ukrainian facility with a big heart. So thank you, Victor, thank you, colleagues, and let's stay stronger.
So I propose we switch on the video. The work that we are going to see here is a work of Alexei Sai. It brings together 718 days of war in Ukraine, throughout Ukraine. So let's start the video, and then I'm happy to give a small tour through the exhibition.